Hello, everyone, and welcome to this session on AILET 2024 application form filling. So, finally, today, 7th of August, NLU Delhi released the application form for AILET 2024, which will be conducted for admissions to the law programs at National Law University, Delhi. So, the exam is scheduled this year on 10th of December, and we know that CLAT is a bit earlier this time. It's on 3rd December. NLU Delhi has scheduled its examination on 10th of December 2023. Now, here's this process comes with a good news today. And what NLU Delhi has done for AILET, they have extended the time in which you can write the paper. So this year you have 120 minutes. You have been given 120 minutes to complete the paper, as against 90 minutes used to be earlier. So this time you'll be getting 120 minutes. So I think that's a welcome change. That's a news you would definitely like about the paper, actually, because a lot of reading effort goes as far as NLU Delhi paper is concerned. So let's go and understand step by step how you have to fill the AILET application form so that you don't commit any mistake. Please understand the form is costly. It will cost you around 3,500 rupees, except for those who belong to the scheduled caste, scheduled tribe, and PWD category. For them, the cost of the application form is 1,500 rupees, whereas for everybody else, it is exactly 3,500 rupees. So it's definitely important that you pay attention while filling the application form for National Law University Delhi AILET 2024 examination. So let's look at exactly how you have to fill the application form. But before I get into the finer details, I would like to share certain important aspects about the application. So as I stated, the NLU Delhi is now providing 30 minutes extra. So the time span for the entire paper, comprising 150 questions, will be 120 minutes. Now you can attempt the entire paper in 2 hours. Now that was about the exam pattern, just a minor modification. No changes has been done as far as negative marking is concerned. The negative marking will remain 0.25. So for every incorrect attempt, you will be penalized by 0.25 marks. Now, moving on, the seat matrix, that also does not change, which clearly means a lot of students were expecting that probably this year onwards we might have the Delhi reservation coming in, which is not the case. So all the seats will be on all India basis, and there will be a total of 123 seats, out of which 110 will be for the above categories, and there are 13 seats in the supernumerary quota, actually. So for the general category students, the total seats is around 50, out of which the horizontal reservation, which is around 5% of the total intake, goes to the people with disability. And with the remaining of the total seats, 30% of the seats will be marked for female students. There is a provision for 30% horizontal reservation for female students, which means in every category. So if you look at this number, 47, 23, 16, for each of these categories, from the count of the seats given, 30% of the seats are specifically reserved for women candidates. Now, the supernumerary seats, Kashmiri migrants, they have one seat. Residents of Jammu and Kashmir, they have two seats. And there are 5 seats each for foreign national and people of Indian origin or overseas citizen of India. Now, those who are OCI or PIOs, they can either apply as Indian national or as a foreign national. If they choose to apply as a foreign national, the entire process will be different for them. But whereas in the case they choose to apply as an Indian national, they will have to take the AILET examination. Now, here are a few pointers before you start filling the application form. Please remember, you have to take care of certain aspects. So you will be required to upload your photograph, which should be against a white background. The scanned copy of it should be against the white background. And the size of the scanned copy should not exceed 1 MB. The face must cover 75% of the photograph, no caps, no goggles to be worn while clicking on the photograph or while taking the photograph. The format they allow is JPEG, JPG, or PNG. You must also keep two identical photographs in reserve, which will be required to be pasted on the admit card at a later stage and also during the counseling admissions process actually. So keep two identical photographs, the one which you are uploading in the application form. Then you are also required to upload your signature. And in case you belong to the BPL category or person with disability category, then also you have to upload your certificates in which the maximum size of the file should not exceed 2 MB. No other documents are required to be uploaded. So even if you belong to a particular category, let's say SC, ST, EWS, or non-creamy layer of OBC, you do not have to upload any documents at this point of time. Only in case you select BPL within SC and ST category, then you will be required to upload the BPL category certificate. All the other documents will be required at the time of admission. For example, your academic credentials like your mark sheet for class 10th and class 12th, and then the latest character certificate, transfer certificate from the institution, last attended institution, and the valid documents of your reservation. All those will be required at the time of admission. For those who belong to the non-creamy layer OBC, other backward classes, and the students who belong to EWS category, economically weaker section, please remember your certificate should have been issued on or after 1st of April 2023. So if you have any certificate which has been issued prior to 1st April 2023, that will not be considered, that will not be treated as a valid certificate. Your certificate for your category, NCL, OBC, and EWS must have been issued on or after 1st of April 2023. So let's move on to understand how do you go ahead and fill in the application form. So NLU Delhi has a very specific website for the AILET application, which is National Law University Delhi.in. This is the URL you will be going to. इस URL पे आप जाएंगे और इसके बाद यहाँ पे सारा registration process activate होगा. So once you open this URL, once you type this URL, then you will see a window opening up, which will show up like this, as you can see on your screen. And you will be asked to provide your registered mobile number and password. Now, this is not the first step. The first step is to register yourself for AILET 2024. So you will click on this button, which is register. The moment you click on this button, you'll come across this page. A new page will open up, which will ask you about your mobile number and email ID. So these are two important credentials for registration. First is your mobile number, and the other one is your valid email ID. Once you type the two, then you hit the register button, and your registration process starts for AILET 2024. इसके बाद क्या करेंगे? इसके बाद you will get your login credentials on your mobile as a text message and also as an email. So your text message will have the user ID, which is your mobile number, and a password, which will come in numericals, 6-digit numericals. You will get a password. Now, using that password, you will have to log in. But the moment you try that, you'll come back to this part and you will fill in your registered mobile number and the password which you have received on your mobile as a text message. Once you do that, submit that, it will open a page which will want you to change your password. It's a forced password change. So you do not have any option. You'll have to create a new password. So you create a new password over here, and then you confirm the password and click on change password. So अपना नया password create करेंगे आप लोग. You force change होगा, आपके पास कोई भी option नहीं होगा. Then once you have done that, you will be logged in and using the mobile number and the password, and then you'll get an option to select the program. So today we are talking about the 5-year undergraduate integrated law program, which is BA LLB honors at National Law University Delhi. You will click on this radio button over here and click on apply. Once you do this, the application form will open up. The entire application form will open up as one page. You'll keep on scrolling down while filling the respective fields. So the first thing you have to fill in over here is your name as per your class 10th certificate. So जो तुम्हारे class 10th के सर्टिफिकेट पे जिस तरीके से नाम डिस्प्ले हुआ है, बिल्कुल एग्जैक्टली यू हैव टू कॉपी इट हियर. Then you'll fill in your date of birth. From the drop down, you'll select date, you'll select month, and you'll select the year in which you were born. For the gender part, again, you have to select from the drop down whether you are a male candidate, a female candidate, or a transgender candidate. The mobile number and email ID will come pre-filled because that is the detail you submitted during the registration. So these two fields will come pre-filled. पहले से भरा हुआ होगा, आपका मोबाइल नंबर डिस्प्ले होगा, ईमेल आईडी डिस्प्ले होगा, which you cannot change. For nationality, you will select Indian from the drop down. For the category, you will select general. Drop down पे आप अपना category select करोगे, general, SC, ST, EWS or OBC as the case may be. So you will get these categories over here. And then you will select your respective category over here. So whichever social category you belong to. In case of SC/ST, it will also ask you whether you belong to the BPL category. Otherwise, it will ask everybody, are you a PW candidate? So the next question which comes is, are you a person with disability candidate? You'll select yes or no. Remember, the the disability should not be less than 40%. The other question which you have to answer is, are you a Kashmiri migrant candidate? Select yes or no from the drop down. Are you a resident of Jammu and Kashmir? Select appropriately yes or no. Remember, for these two categories, there are supernumerary. Over and above the total intake, there are seats reserved for these two category of students. Then comes your center choice detail. Where do you want to go and write the examination? So the list of cities can be selected from the drop down. The advice here is very simple. आप वो city पहले select करेंगे where you reside. If that is in the list, आप जहाँ रहते हो, अगर वो city as center available है, तो पहले आप वो select करोगे, फिर the nearest one and the nearest one actually. It's the very simple logic. In case you do not have a city mentioned over here where you live in right now, then you'll select the most nearest possible actually. Okay, so this is about the exam center choice. Please understand there is a radio button given for save as draft, so it's a good idea to always keep hitting this button. आप जो भी fill कर रहे हो उसको save करते रहो, you do not lose on, और जहां से आप start करोगे दोबारा वहीं से start हो जाएगा. After center choice, you have to furnish your contact details. आपका जो current address है, आप पहले उसके details fill करोगे. You'll fill the details of your current residence. So you'll type your address over here and here. And in the country also, you'll have to type. It's not from the drop down. You'll select the state of residence from the drop down. You'll type the name of the district, जिस district में आप अभी रह रहे हो. Type the name of the city and type the PIN code over here. If your permanent address is same as your current address, you simply click on this checkbox. आप इस checkbox पे click करोगे, the next part will get closed. If you do not check this, which implies that your permanent address is different from your state or the current address, then you have to type your permanent address over here. So अगर आप का permanent address, current address same है, तो simply click on this checkbox. This will get closed. Otherwise, you'll have to fill all these details. Next come information about your family, जहाँ पे अपने father और mother के बारे में details provide करना है. You have to furnish details about your parents. So first is father's name, second is his occupation, retired, working somewhere. So that you'll mention over here. Father's mobile number is mandatory. Annual income, select from the drop down whether it is nil or in that particular range which is given over here. Father's email ID is mandatory. Father's office address is mandatory. Similarly, you'll fill in the particulars about your parent, about your mother. So mother's name, occupation, mobile number, mother's annual income, mother's email ID, and mother's office address is to be filled over here. Next comes your academic qualification, and here you might get confused. I know for sure they'll be sorting it out. The moment they'll get to know about this, they'll be sorting this out. So there is a small issue here as on today, the first day of the application form. I'll tell you that where it is happening. So first you have to fill in your class 10 details. So you'll type the name of the school, type the name of the board. For example, might be from CBSE, so you'll write CBSE over here. From the drop down, you'll select the passing year of class 10. So for most of you, it would be 2022, and you'll be appearing for your class 12 board examination next year in 2024. For some of you, it could be 2021 or even earlier. You might be repeating the examination. Here in the grading system, आपको select करना है कि your result was in grades or percentage. Then you'll have to do the conversion. Mostly it is percentage. What was the maximum marks? How much you secured out of the maximum possible marks, and convert that into percentage over here. This is for class 10. Similarly, for class 12, you will type the name of the school, name of the board, and you will select from the drop down year of passing. Unfortunately, they are not showing 2023 over here. So somebody might have completed their 12th exam this year, might have passed the exam this year, but is retaking the exam once again. But I think it might have been a miss out, and they'll surely look into it. So don't rush towards filling the application form. बहुत समय है, you have enough time. You have to submit the form till 13th of November, so there's nothing to hurry about. I'm sure they will rectify this part, but as of now, it is only showing 2022 maximum possible. So 23 आ जाएगा, वो दिख नहीं रहा है, definitely आ जाएगा. Then you continue with the grading percentage or grades, maximum marks for your board exams. What did you obtain? And convert that into percentage, and from the drop down select humanities, commerce, or stream. So what was your stream in class 12? And finally we come to the document upload part. The first thing is to upload your photograph, colored photograph against white backdrop. 75% face visibility has to be there, and the file size should not be more than 1 MB, and the only formats permissible are JPG or PNG. Similar scenario for signature. Remember, only if you are a BPL candidate or a PWD candidate, you are required to upload your documents, category certificates. Otherwise, for everybody else, beyond photograph and signature, nothing else is to be uploaded at this point of time. And finally, you check this declaration wherein you declare that all the information which you are furnishing is true. Okay. And you may now choose to either save the form today as a draft, or you may choose to submit the form. If you submit the form, there are two possibilities. This is how the window will appear. This will mention your application number, your name, your date of birth, your program you have applied for, your category, your email ID, and your application status. So clearly it is showing for me that I have submitted my application, but my payment is pending. Now I may choose to make the payment, or if I recall that probably I have made some mistakes, I would probably delete my application. But here is one thing you must remember. In case you have selected yes option for BPL category under SC or ST category, you will not be able to delete the application form once submitted. Remember this rule. For everybody else, they can delete, but people who have shown BPL category under SC category or ST category, they will, once they submit the form, they will not be able to delete the application form. You'll straight away proceed to payment. For others, if you have not paid the application fee, which is 1,500 in case of SC, ST, and PWD candidate, and 3,500 for everybody else, you can straight away proceed to make the payment, or you might wish to make the payment some other day. There is nothing to hurry about actually, but don't forget the fact that the last date is 13th of November, and the second is Do not commit any mistakes over here. Actually, do not commit any mistakes over here. Okay, so it's a costly form. I think pretty simple form, pretty easy form. None of you would find it difficult actually. But yes, why take that risk? Fill it over some 3 4 days. Be easy, and take your own sweet time to submit the application form. Nothing to worry about over here. So that was very simple application process, and you can definitely fill it at your convenience. I have passed my 12th final board exams in March 2023, but the passing year isn't showing the option for 2023. Viraj, that's why I said it's the first day of the application. Probably they have missed out on that part. I'm sure they will rectify it. So just wait for a couple of days. That will definitely, that's an error I noticed while submitting my form. So they'll definitely make changes to that. Don't worry about that. CBSE gives result sheet in grade. Should I fill CGPA option or percentage? If your result is in CGPA, you will fill it in CGPA. Convert that into percentage. You know the multiplier, it's 9.5. Okay. So there are no more questions, I'm sure, because the form is pretty easier. So once again, reiterating the good news, the exam this year will be about 120 minutes without any change in the number of questions. So you get 30 minutes extra. For 150 questions till last year, the students would get only 90 minutes, but this time you'll get 120 minutes. So I think you have got enough time, at least compared to the previous years. So definitely go for that. I think it's going to be an easy one for you guys. I'm in currently in class 12 standards. So what I have to fill in form for class 12, you will select appearing. You will not be required to submit any marks. You will select appearing over there. Okay. For those students who are appearing for the board exams in March 2024, you will select appearing. Okay. Marks वगैरह की जरूरत नहीं पड़ेगी वहां पे. So that will not be mandatory to submit the moment you select appearing over there, actually. Okay, so that's all, guys, for this session. Thank you so much for joining in, and all the best to each one of you. Now, I think no, OBC creamy layer, my dear friend, do not have any advantage. They do not get any reservation. Okay, chalo. Thank you so much for joining in.